And what I did in order to do that is once I came up with this,
Mhm.
I took pieces of each
Oh,
letter.
yeah, and combined it all together.
Yeah.
As one, yeah. Cool. That's pretty sweet. That was loud.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I could hear it. Won't be able to today. I'm just now seeing all this. Going to visit Chrissy's family, apparently. Let me send the problem to him.
How's the song go?
Is it a dog? Is it a cat? Bear thing.
I don't remember the song anymore.
We're gonna have a special guest because I'm gonna force him. Is it do 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 do? Be maybe I don't know. We haven't done it in a hot minute.
Well, I don't usually play it on ukulele. I played it on ukulele a couple times. I know it on guitar, but
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right, ready?
that was it. That was the song. Yeah,
Bear
that's
thing.
welcome to the show,
Welcome to
everybody.
the show. I was busy.
We're doing. We're still trying that new format thing, I guess, technically. So
Yeah.
we're gonna try and talk about entertainment,
Yeah.
which includes that D&D trailer.
Yes,
Speaking of writing fantasy and also
Doing
being a dungeon master yourself, good sir. How do you feel about the new D&D movie?
I'm stoked.
What was it called? D&D Hearts Asunder? Thieves Among Men?
Thieves? Honor Among Thieves? Thieves in Honor? Something weird. I don't remember now. We just watched it too.
Mm-hmm. About 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Watch the trailer.
Something Thieves. Pretty sure. Hard Thieves?
They're all gold. All these titles are gold.
But
It could be called any of these.
it really could. I like it for the whole thought is biased opinion. Love Chris Pine, so I'm glad he's in it.
Which one was Chris Pine?
The Bard.
Okay.
So
I'm not sure who he is.
have you watched Star Trek? The movies?
Oh, which movies?
Any of the three?
Oh, not the original 9?
No.
Okay.
The
no.
new ones, J.J. Abrams ones.
I probably saw one of them.
Okay.
I think I saw the first one.
Well, he's the one who plays Kurt. James T. Kurt. Right?
Okay, yeah.
That's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. He
The
plays
main
that.
captain?
Yeah.
The main character? Okay. Yeah. Cool.
And he also was in Wonder Woman. He's the guy that got brought back to life.
Never saw it.
But you know what the scene we were talking about? We talked about it a while back.
I know Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah.
I'm well aware of
Okay,
the controversy of Wonder Woman
he's
1984.
the guy. Chris Pine played the guy. Not the one who
The
got his
guy.
body taken over.
Oh,
but
okay,
one
with
who
the
came
guy.
back.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Chris Pine. Don't know what he looks like, except I've seen him.
Yeah, you
apparently.
literally just saw him. Okay, so what I think about that movie is I'm actually really excited because, as I said to you, the only way I think they can properly make a D&D movie is there has to be humor. Because, let's be honest, it's just a bunch of murder hobos generally when you play D&D. There's some players that don't
least
want to
in
be
my
murder
experience.
hobos, but it's more than likely murder hobos running around doing their jazz.
And then when I try to be a character, I'm accused of being a murder hobo.
Because sometimes you are very murder hobo-y.
But it's in character.
And I was watching someone last night. He's another actor. And he was talking about D&D. He's like, one of my biggest things. He's like, someone asked him, what would you rather have in a party? Is chaotic or lawful evil or chaotic evil? And he was like, lawful evil, because they have rules.
At least there will be a code.
Yes, there's stuff they will follow. He's like, you may think they may betray you in the end, but they're following their thing for whatever needs to be done. He's like, chaotic evil is just a person running around. You don't know what he's gonna do, and more than likely you're gonna end up wanting to kill them. And it's like,
Yeah, if
fair
the
enough.
whole party isn't chaotic evil, then yeah, eventually the people who are like lawful good or whatever.
yeah, whatever the other normal
Or
class
even
are.
neutral good or something are gonna be like, dude, this guy's gotta go. He keeps throwing screws into the gears.
Okay, I was like, what is the metaphor?
No.
Alright, yeah, I'll give it. I'll
I
accept
just
that one.
completely forgot what the actual saying is, but that's another way to say what it is.
What is it? Yeah, cogs in the machine.
Throws a wrench into the
Wrench in
machine.
Yeah, I'll go with that one. No, so yeah, that actually excited me. But since we're talking about entertainment, and it's really close to coming out, and I just watched the newest trailer for it. Lord of the Rings.
Wait, I haven't given my take on D&D.
Oh yeah.
I just
By all
listened to
means,
your
by all
take.
means. I'm just gonna say that's gonna be the next part that we're gonna talk
Fair
about.
enough. I think it looked awful. It looked like there's that Netflix original.
You also didn't like the score either for the trailer.
Yeah, the trailer had like a rock song, and it does not fit at all. Unless, I mean, if they pull off a Knight's Tale, is that the one? Is it a Knight's Tale?
The one with Heath Ledger?
Maybe it's a movie
I think it's
where
Heath Ledger and Chris Rock.
they play like we will.
I think it is Knight's Tale.
So he's a dude that fakes
Like
being a knight.
Knights?
He fakes being a knight.
I think you're right. I think that one is Knight's Tale.
Yeah, A Knight's Tale, and they play rock music throughout the whole thing, and I like that movie. That's a guilty pleasure of mine.
Okay, fair enough.
So I'm not saying that just because there's rock music in it means it's gonna be bad. It's just a bad look.
Yeah, I mean,
because
it's
you're
off-putting.
setting me up to make it makes me think of the Netflix original show Disenchanted. It makes me think that this is the route we're going with D&D now. Is that we're gonna be a mix between that and a typical Marvel movie where it's like, oh, look at our sense of humor.
Marvel
and,
has changed the landscape of how movies with that mystique to it.
Yes, and it's like, so I feel like they're gonna make D&D hip, and I think that's gonna kind of ruin some of it.
Hasn't D&D always been hip?
No. No, I think that's gonna kind of ruin. It's hard for me to put it into words. Hopefully, someone will understand what I'm trying to say. Where I'm not saying that it's bad to change it or anything like that.
No, but like I get what you're saying too.
I'm just saying I feel like that's the wrong direction for what the tone's gonna be wrong. That's
Okay.
what I think. But I get the part you're saying though about, well, the tone should be lighthearted because when a group of friends sits down and play D&D, it's usually lighthearted. But they're also telling. The setting is not lighthearted though.
No, and that's why I think it should have that weird off humor to it.
I mean, it depends on your DM, but if they're with what it showed us in like Vecna and stuff like that, they're going to an official
yes, they are.
D&D world.
I forget what it was because I watched something else about it where like it does tell you what story it looks like it's supposed to be, and I wish I could remember what it was.
It's not Dominaria. What?
Don't know.
Grey Havens? No.
No.
Greyhawk. Isn't it? No, Greyhawk's a castle.
Yeah. It's definitely not Greyhaven, nor is it Greyhawk.
No, dude, I'm such a loser. I don't even remember where D&D takes place.
I mean, it depends on what
But there is an official place. Like, the game was originally meant to be played in. It used to all be
started
one
off
world.
in Dragonlance Chronicles series.
Yeah, but
which
what was the land called?
Where is Dragonlance take place? What is that landmass?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Exactly.
Because I know after a while we got...
But that's what it's called.
Like 5e, or maybe even before 5e, they started transitioning to the Forgotten Realms.
The Forgotten Realms?
But...
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's Forgotten Realms.
I don't think it's Forgotten Realms.
Is it the Forgotten Realms?
No,
you tell us in the comments below how much we don't know anything about this hobby that we enjoy.
Yeah, but that's the thing, it's a hobby. It's not a passion project.
So I just think that the setting needs to be done right. But I will say the trailer showed off like tons of monsters.
I'm kind of
beasts.
excited because if they do go through the monster bestiary or whatever,
At first it looked
that'd
like,
be kind of interesting.
because it was an owl bear. I thought it was weird that they had to point out that it was an owl bear.
Well, I mean, think about it in the sense of the
It
world.
clearly looked like an owl bear.
Well, no, think about it in the sense of the world. Not everybody knows what.
No, I'm saying if you've never seen an owl bear, if someone who's never heard of an owl bear, watch the trailer. You'll know it when you see it.
Yeah, I mean, true.
You'll immediately be like, oh, that thing. Whoa, which one? The owl bear.
I mean,
it's like, oh, you
might
know it
just
was named that?
You might describe it as an owl bear thing. I get what you're saying. Where it's like if you don't even know what its name is, it's like that owl bear looking.
You
thing.
know its name.
Yeah.
Everyone knows its name.
Go lay down, please, for the love of all.
Just like everyone knows Bear Thing's name.
Yeah.
What's this bear thing? That's it.
That's the name. You got it right on the money, or right on the nose. Whatever.
Either one. Yeah.
Dude, no.
There you go. That's my a brief opinion on it is if they do the setting right, it was really cool to see the monsters and the way the spells looked. I don't want it to just be a typical Marvel movie.
No, I hope that they don't go over the. I mean, they're gonna go over the top. It's D&D. It's definitely gonna be some over the top nonsense, especially since they were showing sorcerers or what looked like a lich kind of like guy, and it's like
yeah, it's probably Vecna.
So it's like
Vecna's been getting a lot of love because they put him in Stranger Things, and
Yeah.
then now he's in the D&D movie. He's been getting a lot of love these past couple years.
wait, I know his name in Stranger Things is Vecna, but like
Yeah.
it's not the same, right?
It's Vecna. He's a Lich King, yeah.
It's actually Vecna.
Yeah, it's Vecna.
That's silly.
Yeah.
Like,
From my understanding, it's actually Vecna.
I hope not. I hope
Go lay down.
not. But yeah, no.
Go lay down.
I guess like the trailer doesn't
No, not
tell
like
the
that.
full
Ow.
story, and so we just gotta wait to see what
Good girl.
happens. But most
That's
important,
not laying down. That's just walking in circles.
the most important thing that I want to talk about is the Rings of Power.
Talk to our invisible guest.
All right, because the Ring of Power, I sat in on a podcast and debated it with someone else on our good friend
Here, you wanna go
Sisyphus
outside?
Experience.
Is this what you want?
She's saying no.
No? Bro, I don't know what you want then.
Does she have water and food?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know. She just wants lovings. But I talked about it.
Oh, she
on,
was just reminding me to turn the lights on for lighting.
on what is that show called?
That's what she was doing.
On the Sisyphus Experience. Talked about it with our good friend Sisyphus and some other people there. And they,
Cyrac.
yeah, they went
Not
crazy.
Sisyphus.
No, his name was Sisyphus from this point on. Dang it! I actually think I named him something else in another episode. And I don't remember what I called him.
Wasn't it Sissy?
No.
Sisyphus?
It wasn't that. It wasn't that crude or lame.
When are we gonna come out with Syphilis Experience?
That's something we should do. That'll be fun.
The Syphilis Experience? Yeah, I'll make the YouTube channel whenever we get off here.
Okay.
I just learned how to make more channels.
On our channel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so I
hilarious.
just started the gaming channel as of today and uploaded DayZ footage that
Cool.
no one can watch because it's unlisted, so you can't look at it.
Cool. Can I put mine on yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it'd be nice to just link them that way.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, so the Ring of Power. I was upset that I've seen so many comments and people bashing the absolute.
Are they talking about the
Crap
fact that
out
they
of it.
think Sauron's in it?
Like no,
The
no.
armor? Like that hurt, but it's
The
really...
guy in the armor? No, I didn't think
Those,
people thought that was Sauron.
Okay, good. I hope not.
Yeah. See, my problem is I
Wasn't
was
that
I was
Melkor?
really worried.
Didn't they show Melkor?
Depends. They said this is a second age, so more than likely not, because Melkor is primarily first age.
But I thought they showed the suit of armor that looked like Sauron's armor,
They
but
showed
slightly different.
They
which
showed
would
a
be Melkor.
odd variation of it, but that doesn't mean like one of his lieutenants could have worn same kind of things
Who's lieutenant?
like Sauron's.
Okay.
Because armor wise, I can't do anything with that.
Isn't
it's just so.
Isn't he a Balrog?
Sauron?
Yeah.
No, he's. I mean, they're the same race.
So he's a Balrog.
I mean, but that would be like saying Gandalf's a Balrog.
Yeah.
They're also the same race.
Yeah, Gandalf's a Balrog.
No,
We all know Gandalf's a Balrog. Didn't you see him fight the Balrog?
and win?
That was
Was that a draw?
Yeah, draw. Yeah, that was a draw, except that Gandalf got brought back. So Gandalf cheated, technically.
Yeah, he totally
It was
cheated.
a draw.
Manway brought him back, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I don't know that much.
But also crazy thing is, this is off topic a little bit. The Lord of the Rings. So every time I've heard the ring speak to Frodo and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and he had some sort of weird vision or someone talking or something like warning him. The way they did it in the movies always comes off as it's Sauron talking through the ring.
Like the whispers
Yeah.
and the...
Yeah. But there's actually a voice over top voice that's talking, and it's actually Manway. It's spoken about. It's talked about in the Lost Chapter, the Lost Tales, and all that stuff like
okay.
that. Yeah, he's hearing
Which-
Manway a lot of times.
Which god was that?
The Ocean God.
Okay.
I don't really know his
Yeah.
place in the pantheon fully, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure he's the Ocean God.
So he's the one that went into the waters, like
Yeah.
under the water, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was like, that's kind of
They
cool.
talk. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting that it would be him because I remember in the.
Sauron is whispering too, but that's the thing. It's the over top voice. That's Manway.
Because that would explain why some of Frodo's dreams had to do with oceans and rising oceans, and the ocean is that way, and like looking out over the ocean, and that would actually make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah,
that it's like
Manway.
that he's like, dude, no, I really want you to succeed at this.
Yes, Manway's talking to him throughout the whole entire book series, just so subtly, which I think is what makes Tolkien so amazing. It's the subtleties
That's
that
cool.
you don't know
Yeah.
about until you go deeper. But okay, so my thing is, I've heard so many people complain and gripe about the colors and the races of different creatures and yada yada yada, and I was like, I don't. And so many people have heard even say like Tolkien wouldn't like this, and I stopped and I was like, no, I think these people are wrong, solely due to the fact that like if you look at Tolkien's work for the time period that he wrote it in and everything that he wrote in his world, like that man was a woke man for his era.
I would say Tolkien wouldn't like it purely because it is not a book.
I mean, probably.
That's what I think.
But, like,
I think he would have hated the Lord of the Rings movies. He would have hated the animated. He would have been like, no. The only iteration is my version.
No, I don't agree, because of the fact is it's the same way that he looked at a lot of interpretations, and when people asked him in interviews like, what does this mean? And he was like, what does it mean to you?
He translated Beowulf, and so
he just
if someone liked his translation better than another's, I don't think he would be like, oh well, no, you should only like the original.
Exactly.
He would be like, well, thank you, I'm glad you like my version.
Exactly. I think he would have been fine with it, because it's like that's your interpretation of how what I wrote was, and like for his time period, wokeness. He was a very woke person for his time period. And I think if he lived in our era, wrote his world, we'd probably see it quite a bit of closer towards what they're trying to do anyways.
Have you heard his interview where he answers the eagle question?
Why didn't they fly?
Yeah, why didn't they fly eagles to drop the ring? Have you heard the radio interview?
I don't think so.
His answer is, I tell those people to shut up.
Good man. Good man. Because it's like, it's his story. He didn't need him to write it.
Which I think is, I find that really funny, because I think there's plenty of examples in the book of why.
Oh yeah,
wouldn't.
There's absolutely.
But it is interesting that I guess at some point he heard the question so much that he was like, you know what? Shut up. I'm just done.
I'm glad that was a question even back then.
Yeah, it's been a question for a long time.
It's the most ridiculous question where it's like, yeah, I guess why didn't he? It's like, did you want the book to end immediately? Is that all you guys are asking?
Those are some of the reasons. Yeah, those are some of the reasons people give.
It's like the book is too long?
No. I mean, some of the reasons people give that it didn't happen is that it's like the book would end, and I think there's more evidence in the book, but I get it.
No, there is more evidence, but it comes down to like the whole fact is just like, why does that need to be the answer? Why can't we have more of an interesting answer, like them walking? Which, how can that book series be as amazing as it is?
It's just a hiking trail.
Yeah, it's just a hiking movie. Book series, both of them.
Have you ever seen that?
Still didn't talk about the Ring of Power though.
Venom. What's his name? It's Cinematic Venom. Have you ever heard of him? Cinematic Venom. He did a review. It's like a 2-hour review of the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
I'm pretty sure his name popped up, and that popped up on my YouTube the other day.
It might have, but he did a review of Lord of the Rings, the trilogy, and one of his major criticisms is the fact that it's a walking story. Yeah. It's a story about walking here and walking there and da-da-da.
I think people don't read books.
That's very true.
Like,
I didn't know you knew that, James.
Like,
people don't read books anymore, yeah.
Well, no. I mean, like, did they not retain any information from books that they've read, ever? Like, any fantasy book, any, like, sci-fi even. It's like either they're walking, or they're flying, or they're driving, but it's always a tale of traveling. Any adventure book is just traveling from one destination to another to another.
It's called an adventure.
Yeah, so it's like their means of transportation should not matter to you. Their means of how they get there.
Well, I mean, it's like, well, yeah, a lot of important stuff is going to happen during that travel time because it's a lot of time. Of course, we're going to stop while they camp and watch them sword fight, because it's like we're watching them learn how to sword fight. We've established now during this period of travel that they're learning how to sword fight. Yeah. Like, it's
still bad at
such
it,
important.
Yeah.
It's important details, and it's like, of course, there's a lot of time in traveling. You know, we don't have to literally show you the 10 hours they trained or whatever, but they tell you.
But giving us little snippets here and there, now we know that they're getting training throughout the process.
That's why it's the media section. We should have started a timer. Crap.
We should have. I don't know how long we have.
You finished your Rings of Power thing.
Okay, so my biggest problem was the fact that everyone was complaining about how woke all this is, and I sat there and watched the trailer, the newest one, and I was like, there are some things that bother me, but it has nothing to do with what I've heard so many people complain about, which is like the racism that they're trying to establish. Like, I know people aren't being racist, but come on, the way that they're talking about, like, why is this race this color and why is this happening?
I'm not aware of any of this. I haven't been
paying
attention.
Why are there black dwarves or black hobbits or Asian whatever? I'm like, dude, let's be honest. in a lot of his world, when he created the characters, we know that hobbits range from dark leather tone to like pale skin, fair as he called them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that covers almost any race. Let's be realistic. It was like, because he never gives us exactly what that race means. He just gives us a color palette to follow on. The elves are the only ones that we're like, we know that they're all basically pale. Like, they're all fair skinned. Alright, cool. And it's like,
what?
Dwarves,
What
we also know.
want?
We also know dwarves range from the same palette scale that hobbits do.
Yeah, and all the women have beards.
All the women have beards, because it's hard to tell the difference. I did see the woman without the beard. Didn't
Wait,
bother
there's
me.
a woman without a beard?
Yeah, didn't bother me.
Oh, well, I'm upset. I'll take sides. I'm with the opposing side then.
You can't. It didn't bother me.
Dwarves are supposed to have beards.
Just simply because I was like, she would probably look ridiculous.
Yeah,
And, like,
that's the point.
I was like,
Look-
she still looks ridiculous now.
Look,
even
the
though-
freaking... That one movie did a giant starfish as a villain. I thought we were at the point that we accepted that we can have the crazy
Oh
descriptions
yeah, we
of
could
things
totally
in
have
cinema.
ridiculousness. It's like, but it also
We
could have
don't
come
have
down
to be
to
gritty realistic
it
all
could
the
have came
time.
down to the fact she may not have wanted it, which
Then get a different actress.
who knows? Like as I said, we don't know the reason.
I don't
but they
care.
have
Nope.
it. So
Dwarves have to have beards. That's the side I'm taking. I'm upset. It's gonna suck because the dwarves don't have beards.
yeah, I don't care. That's such a tiny little minute thing to me that I just don't care.
I also don't like The Hobbit for anybody who wanted to try and point
Oh,
out
the Hobbit's awful.
anything
The
with
Hobbit
that.
is terrible.
Yeah. Okay, what's next? What
Yeah.
else you got?
Oh, and then it was just seeing a character that I'm really worried is Sauron
Okay.
bothered me. It was this magical dude, white hair, like crazy white blonde hair that I'm like follows Sauron's description, the eyes, the
Okay.
face. Like he could have been pretty looking guy if his hair was long, but it's like shorn. And then his fingers for some reason are like black. And I'm like, okay, the only reason I'll accept that if that is Sauron, because he starts doing magic and other stuff, is if it's after his fall.
Okay, he looks different before the fall.
Yes, because before the fall, he wasn't cursed. He was cursed later on by either Manwë or another god to basically not be able to trick the elves anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So like him not being able to change forms and shapes like that, I would have been fine with that because it's like, alright, cool. That's what he looks like now to distinguish him differently. Cool, but if that's what they have him throughout the whole series, I will be very upset
Okay.
because he should look like a beautiful, holy, like because he's a Lucifer style character in
Right.
the Lord of the Rings series.
Yeah.
So it's like he should look pretty until he falls.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree with that. We'll see what happens then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I have no
I'm
opinions
just
on
excited
it.
about it, and I'm just so tired of seeing
Except the
all.
dwarf thing.
I'm
I
just-
now have an opinion on that since you shared
That's
it with
fine.
me.
I'm so tired of all the negativity before we ever even see any of it. It's like we've seen little bits here and there, and people are like, "Oh man, it's covered in CGI." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm like, but that's the day and age we live in." So
I'm
you're either gonna have to get over it and hope, or make your own movie where you use practical effects.
I'll
You
watch.
know?
I will watch it, and I will judge it. It'll be one of the few things I'm gonna watch.
I'm gonna watch it and judge it strictly off of itself and not off of the books because there's too much involved in that world where we have such
there's
little
not.
information.
There's not too much involved. It's fine. It's there. I will judge it off of how it falls in line.
Have
with
you read
the
the
canon.
Silmarillion? Have you read the Lost Chapters?
I haven't read all of it. No.
You say it's there, but it really isn't.
I know there's enough things that are canon. It's
Yeah.
really just it has to.
Yeah, no.
remember-
As long as they have the canon
can't
things
break
that are
canon.
canon, that's fine. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, if they go kind of crazy with it.
Yeah,
as long
there's
as they follow-
interpretation. That's
Yeah,
fine.
as long as they
Not-
follow the canon things that are there, I'm cool with it. Because if they go with their own interpretation, with random parts on how to fill in that world, totally fine with me. The other thing that I had a problem with was Galadriel being such a prominent fixture, at least in their trailer. They really are pushing her. And I'm like, she's not that
It
prominent.
could just be a selling point though.
It could be just to bring the
'Cause-
old fans.
Yeah, something like that. But I mean, also a lot of stuff has been doing that recently, where it'll be like even the Obi-Wan show was like, look at Obi-Wan in all the trailers, and then the majority of the show is spent with the side characters, and Obi-Wan has his moments, but like.
True, which
And
I
so,
think
like, a lot
that
of
too.
shows I think are doing that with their trailers now. They're like, look at Galadriel, look at her, and you're like, wow, man, we're probably gonna follow her a lot. It's like, no, she's in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. I'd be totally fine if we barely follow Galadriel. Because like she's a
they've been
fantastic
pulling that
character.
a lot recently.
She's a fantastic character, but she doesn't need to be the main.
Didn't they do
focus.
that with the Hawkeye TV show as well? And then
Yeah, I mean,
Moon Knight. They did that with Moon Knight, where they showed off Moon Knight a lot, and then it's like we've technically followed Moon Knight.
yeah, I mean, but their trailer basically gave us every
shot
of Moon Knight that we have in the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. I mean, it's the same thing as you said with Hawkeye. They showed Hawkeye, but really we've really followed new Hawkeye.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think they did the same with Captain. It was the Winter Soldier and Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh.
I think they kind of did that with that too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
We
remember
follow-
that.
we follow
That one's
Sam
so
along.
far away.
We
That
fo-
one's
we
so
did
far
follow
away
Sam
now.
along.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah. That one is kind of iffy on that part.
But so I get what you're saying though, that you are worried about what they're gonna do with Galadriel.
Yes.
But they could possibly
Yes.
just be a trailer.
Exactly. They could
That's what I'm
just
saying.
they
It
just
could
could
be a
make
trailer.
it like here's a selling point, but it's like that's not really what the story is. And so that's what I'm hoping. That's why I don't judge it harshly because it's like we don't know yet.
Okay, so that's our trailer reactions.
Yeah. So
For what, D&D and
the Ring of Power.
The Ring of Power, which I have not seen the trailer for The Ring of Power, so I did not actually
I've
have an
seen
opinion.
3 of them.
Except now I have an opinion, which is I am against dwarves without beards.
Oh, dude, you know how ridiculous it is about the Ring of Power trailers? I have not gone out and saw any of them.
Mm-hmm.
So when the first hint came out for it, the first hint, which was several years back,
We
I
can see
got-
how much time is left.
yeah, I got sent 5 messages that day
Oh, I'm sure.
from several different people being like, "Here, James, take a look at this."
All right, we got like 4 more minutes, so I
Okay.
can do my last thing. Yeah, of course, all of your friends, they know how much you like Lord of the
Oh
Rings.
yeah, but I wasn't expecting because it wasn't from people like you or like.
Oh well, yeah,
maybe
I'm not
my
paying
family.
attention.
It's like people like Zach who I didn't even think
Yeah.
would even care about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't
and he
either.
sent it to me,
Yeah.
and then like my nephew sent it to me, and then the newest trailer my nephew sent, and then like someone else sent me, and I was just like, I have not looked these up. I didn't even know they were popping up trailers.
Mhm.
I'm just getting sent them. I'm
Well,
like,
I'm
okay.
pretty sure didn't they put the trailers on Amazon Prime only?
I don't know. I don't know. I've been getting sent them. Just here's a link, James.
Yeah.
Look it up. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. But all right, so I want to give a movie review with it. A 2-minute movie review. It's more of a recommendation.
Okay.
I'm going to give a recommendation. It's not very often that I think well, maybe I do. I don't know. I don't
Not
feel it's very
really.
often
You
that I
don't give a
praise
lot.
things.
No.
I feel like I praise a good amount, or at least like earlier I said A Knight's Tale. I said it was a guilty pleasure. That's praise.
Yeah.
See, so I do
I don't know
praise
if that's
things.
praise.
It's bad, but I like it. That's
Yeah,
praise, right?
I guess. Yeah.
Isn't it? I mean,
Maybe. I mean, I don't disagree with you. But your 2-minute review.
so it's a recommendation more than a review.
Okay.
Dune, the new Dune, whatever
Yes,
Dune
you've
it
been
was.
wanting me to watch this.
It is amazing. This movie is so good. It's consistent. There's only 2 scenes in the entire 2.5 hour movie. So for a total of maybe 30 to 35 seconds of footage that I was like, that don't make no sense. The rest of it all perfectly fell in line. The character motivation, we understood how people got there. We're learning with the characters. There's
Yeah.
not overdumped exposition. The dialogue is well done.
Okay.
All the characters are really portrayed well. There's cool little twists and tweaks where I watched it a second time and there's stuff that they literally put in your face at the beginning of the movie, and then at the end of the movie you're like, that's what that meant.
It pays off.
Yeah.
They paid it off.
I think Rosebud in that whatever movie that's super famous for, where it's like the
Chekhov's
very
gun?
beginning.
Is that what it is?
The Chekhov's gun. Yep, that's one
Where
too.
they're like, here's a thing, and you're like,
And then by
okay,
the
it's not
end
gonna
of
be
the
important,
payout.
and then yeah, you get it.
There's magical abilities, there's technologies, all of them are explained, except for there's a couple of things that I was a little iffy about, but that's not really that
I mean, but
important
they may
here or
delve
there.
more into it with the
Because there's 2 more movies.
Yeah, the other 2 movies coming out.
And that's the reason I'm not yet super harsh on those little points, because they're also there's one in particular, without doing spoilers, there's an instant in the movie where I'm like, that doesn't make any sense based upon what you've shown me,
yeah.
that how this stuff works. And then I thought about it and I was like, well, the solution would have been to do it this way and have him not have that technology on him.
Or is there some things where it's like these could be exceptions to the rules, we just don't know it yet?
Well, it could be that, but the point I'm making though is that it's like when I first saw it, I was immediately like, well, that's stupid. He should have just not had that then.
Yeah.
Because it would explain it. Then I was like, you know what? No, because then I would criticize it. Because like, how the heck would someone not pick that up and have that with them if it's that readily available.
Yeah.
So I've decided that it's not as big of a deal, but I want them to give examples going forward that make that continuity where it doesn't break what they did show me leading up to that. Because it's the only instant where, and without doing any spoilers, the only instant in the entire movie that piece of technology works like that. And so that they have 2 whole films more to show some instances to be like, no, this is how this works and explain it.
Yeah.
But it really threw me off. And then there's another thing that really threw me off that I might have an explanation for, but the movie didn't explain it. And the movie should explain it. And that's what I really enjoyed about it, because everything is explained by the movie, but it's not overbearing, it's subtle. It's all undertone explained. Where if you're really picking it apart and looking at it, it's like, wow, that's a nice detail. Wow, that detail shows this was a thing. That shows this, blah, blah, blah. It's super good.
Okay.
There was just like those 2 little things that I'm like, that one is just not quite there. That's my 2-minute review.
Okay.
Recommendation.
I'd want to watch it, but I was trying to remember because I'm like, there's the cast members. It's the only reason I was ever going to watch that movie.
Well, it
had Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, and his character is like the freaking dopest thing ever.
That's the trailer showed him and I was like, I want to see him actually.
It was so good.
And then it has Timothée Chalamet.
I don't know who that is.
The main guy. He's the main kid.
Oh, okay, he did great.
And then it has Zendaya. And I was like, I would like to see her in something else.
I don't know who that is, but I'm sure she did great because I liked every character.
She is...
Isn't the guy who plays Aquaman in it?
Jason Momoa?
I think he is, because he was actually my favorite character.
I believe you are correct.
He was my favorite character in that movie.
But,
and it could just be because Jason Momoa is charismatic as crap.
Oh, he is.
But he was my favorite.
Amazing human.
He only had like freaking 4 scenes maybe, and then that were like his scene.
Yeah.
You know, like 3 or 4 scenes that were his scene. But he's in the movie.
Yeah, he's throughout.
As part of the ensemble.
Those were his moments.
But there was and it's like of all those ensemble moments, and you really learn who this dude is, and he's so charismatic, and then like it was so good. I loved it. I loved that. That was my favorite character in the movie.
That was really the reason I was gonna watch the movie. And then I was told something about it, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch this movie now. But again, I'm not gonna go in there with the mindset of what I was told, so I'm gonna leave.
You shouldn't. We're just gonna watch it. Well, as soon as this is done, which we're now ending, we're gonna watch. We'll be back in about 2.5 hours.
No, we're not.
We'll get into the next episode. Bye. Bye, everybody.
He's talking about. Bye.
We're gonna watch Dune now.